Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Total Truth Show. And here on the Total Truth Show, we want to help you break free from the lies and propaganda of the mainstream media, all the disinformation and misinformation. We want to help you blast through all of that. And my name is Ken Kleinberg, coming to you all the way from the USA, San Diego, California.
And I'm Alden Altenay, known as the Media Queen from the Gold Coast in Australia.
There is a great awakening happening in the world right now, and you're going to want to come along for the ride.
A lot of lies are coming to the surface. There's a lot of awakening happening, and as this awakening is happening, people realize they've been deceived for years. They've been lied to for years around all sorts of things. A lot of people have been blind to what has been going on in the world, and now they're starting to see. They're starting to see things in a different light.
Through our show, we want to raise global consciousness to quantum critical mass. And we don't want you just to accept the things that we're saying. That goes for our guests as well. We want you to do the research for yourself. Get out there and start questioning things. Start looking things up. Do the research. We want to pave the way for a new awakened world. And we want you to come along for the ride. So with that, let's get started, you guys. Let's dive into today's episode. Once again, welcome.
Yay, 'tis the season to be jolly here in 2025 as we are almost wrapping up the year. So excited to be coming to you with Total Truth Show Christmas Extravaganza episode 120 with my mate Ken Kleinberg. How are you going today, Ken?
Doing amazing. It is my favorite time of year, so I am definitely loving it.
Fantastic. And we do have, as you can see on the screen here, we have some extraordinary guests with us today. We have the amazing Sophie, Gabriel. We have Chad Nedland, Moana Robinson, and Denna the Connector. Welcome aboard. So great to have you all with us. Now, we are chatting about endings and beginnings, the truth about endings and beginnings. And we do invite you, if you're joining live right now from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're joining us right now, let us know where you're joining us from today. Where are you joining us from today? And we do invite you to be part of the conversation. Also, let us know, are you joining us live or on the replay? Live or replay, just pop that into the comments there. And we are going to, ideally, the goal is to have a happy ending today. Ken said keep the show clean at the beginning before we went live. So we make sure we have a happy ending for everybody because, whether you like it or not, it is coming to the end of another year. And you don't want to have a crappy ending, do you? Now, the thing is, it's a choice whether you're going to have a crappy ending or a happy ending to 2025. So our goal is to have a happy ending for all of you for the end of 2025. So a little bit about our guests now. Okay, and we're going to chat with all of them in just a moment. All right. So we've got Chad Nedland here. It's actually Chad J Nedland. You'll find him on Facebook, or Jeremy is actually what the J stands for there. He's a business strategist, author, and coach who helps Christian entrepreneurs build profitable, faith-aligned businesses that do not depend on unstable systems. He has over 20 years of experience and teaches practical strategies for creating consistent cash flow, protecting your time, and building systems that people control. He's the author of From Surviving to Thriving, a book about creating your own economy when the world's economy is collapsing around you. Oh, yes, been some interesting times lately, that's for damn sure. So that is wonderful. Thank you so much, Chad, for joining us. We'll chat with Chad in just a minute. We've got Moana Robinson here, a qualified coach and personal stylist who empowers people to discover their best life and style. She's the author of multiple articles and books, including the Amazon #1 bestseller, Be Styled for Life, Living with Sass and Style Over 50, and Teddy's Revenge, Overcoming Life's Challenges with Sass and Style. There's the book there. Her passion is helping you discover your true potential by living your best life and looking, feeling, and being your best. And we do know her as the sassy stylist. Welcome aboard, Moana. Great to have you here. We have Denna the Connector, has one mission, two mantras, and the 3P philosophy. Co-creator of the Gratitude codes. And Denna lives by 2 mantras, which she will share with us a bit later in her quote. She has some amazing, inspiring connections and stories herself with an amazing journey she's had since being an orphan from a young age, and how she's navigated lots of challenges. So no doubt Denna will be sharing with us on that. Thank you. And there's some books she's in there. Beautiful. Welcome, Denna. Welcome. And we have the amazing Sophie Gabriel with us. She's the author of Breathe for Life, a health and wellbeing coach, helping dancers.
Look at all the books out there.
Love it. It's only one book. Two separate publishers.
Awesome. Welcome aboard, Sophie. Welcome aboard. And
Thank you.
Welcome, Sophie. Now, I met Sophie through the Hippocrates Centre here on the Gold Coast, which is an amazing wellness retreat centre. Check it out, Hippocrates at Madrabar. And I have Fear to Freedom, which I've released this year, of course. We're doing Fear to Freedom Book 2 now, coming out shortly. And Ken, you've got some books there too, haven't you? You've got them right with you there?
So I just pulled this one out because this is the main item of attraction. This is my brand new book. This just came out. Actually, version 2 just came out.
Nice.
And I do have another item out on Amazon as well. It is the Mastery Weight Loss Journal. That is mainly for my clients, and it's dedicated to my clients. It is a 30-day journal that's basically, it allows them to either, let it be just like a normal, food journal, or they can do deep work in that too. So I've created that so that, it provides the need for whoever, and however they want to use it. But this is the main attraction. This is about 149 pages. It's an easy read, and it's an excellent book. Also on Amazon as well.
Fantastic. Thanks for the whole promo there, Ken. We won't need to say that at the end now. So brilliant. Thank you. And Chad, I love how you put this into the chat here. Since you took the time to read this, know that you have incredible worth. Thank you for that, Chad. And that is how your comments will pop up here for those who are tuning in live, who share their comments. We will pop them up on the screen like that. And we love this to be an interactive show. So tune in, and the more you lean in, as I say with anything in life, the more you get out. Okay, so on to our topic. Now, the truth about endings and beginnings. Now, Ken and I did an amazing Christmas extravaganza show last year. We had a whole lot of guests come on that was really brilliant. And this year we thought, let's talk about endings and beginnings, because we know that, the festive season is a very emotional time for a lot of people. And often it's emotional because people are either seeing family members, and we know that where there's family, there's going to be a lot of emotions going on, right?
Yeah.
Resolved emotions, or there's going to be resolved emotions. And for some people, they don't have any family alive either. And so that's also an emotional time for people, because they see other people doing the happy family thing, and they're also thinking, well, what about my happy family? And some people can feel actually very lonely at this time. And the good news is around that is that a lot of different communities do have sort of community lunches around Christmas, like we do on the Gold Coast. We have the Gold Coast Community Lunch, which brings together people that are maybe lonely around this festive season. However, whichever way you look at it, through the festive season, what we do know also, it's emotional because it's coming to the end of the year. Right, here we are. It's 19th of December here in Australia. It's 18th of December in America. And there'll be all sorts of emotions coming up for you, possibly around, some New Year's resolutions you might have set for yourself at the beginning of the year. Did you actually achieve what you set out to achieve this year? And what are you planning for the next year? What are you wanting for 2026? And also we invite you to look today at endings and beginnings in your life, of turning points that you've had in your life, where maybe you've had some really challenging moments and there's been an ending there that you haven't wanted, or maybe you have wanted. Unexpected things maybe have happened, and at the time it might have felt like crap, but then when you look back at that situation, at that ending, you can now see, with the wisdom that you have now, the new beginning and the new door that was opened once you shut that door behind you. So that's what we're going to be exploring on today's show. So I open up to the panel here for who would like to share firstly about, and maybe an ending or beginning in your life. And Ken's jumped straight in. Okay, ending or beginning in your life that you'd like to share to get us started. Right, over to my co-host, Ken.
Yeah, I'm just going to get started right out of the gates, because I've been writing a whole bunch of stuff down as we've been chatting and as we got ready in the backstage and all the things and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of things. So here is to ending the year where I was just an author. And I'm going into the new year as a published author. So I mean, that to me, that's huge. And then the other thing as well, so there's a few other things that I was writing down too. This year has been full of so many great things. I've gotten multiple boot camp clients through my program. I've helped multiple people. And so I'm grateful for all that. And all those are really, really good things. But now it's time to begin the new year with more of an upgraded message, meaning I'm still looking for boot campers, of course. That's my flagship program, and that's never going to go away. But as my coach and I have been working together, we have a brand new elite program that I'm now working on. So what gets to happen this new year is, we've already been working on it too, is my messaging for the front end of, coming into my world gets to change to widen who I'm looking for. So that's the really cool thing for me. The other thing that I wrote down, is, this new year, like this year, I'm ending it with gratefulness, having the global client base. I've got the 2 books, my journal and the actual book. I've got new discovery calls that I'm ending the year with, and these are things I'm grateful for. So these aren't all, these aren't bad things. These are good things. And, I'm beginning the new year in a new phase and in a new fishing tank, if you will. So much like you get a fish and the fish has got like this smaller tank. Eventually the fish is going to need a bigger tank, and then the fish grows into the tank. Well, now the bigger tank has been presented to me, and now so I get to be in that tank, and I get to grow in that tank, and I even get to outgrow that tank and, up level even more again. I mean, so this year ending it, I've, become not just a published author, but a speaker. I've had opportunity to be on the stage and speak in front of a conference. And so many different things. And of course, I'm a mastery coach as well. And so like, I really see that just going into the new year, just kind of like transforming and upgrading all of that to a whole another level. So, I mean, those are kind of just some of the things that I am seeing happening. The other thing that I'm going into this new year, which is part of the beginning with, is I'm going into the new year with a brand new piece that's now a part of my program as well, which is, it's called the Mastery Assessment, and it's got 17 dimensions on it, and it is absolutely deep and powerful. And I've already been testing it on my premium clients that I have right now. So these are the clients that came out of my boot camp and they chose to continue to work with me. And so they jumped into my premium coaching program. And so I'm testing this new piece out on them. And this thing has produced fantastic and in-depth results for those clients. So I can't wait to now integrate that piece into other parts of what I do, because that it's huge. So once we get your assessment, we get the graph and it shows all the bars and where you're at with each category. Now we get to, on the next couple of sessions after that, we get to then go through and break down each category. Why was it this and why wasn't it this? So one of the things that I commonly ask my clients, for example, here's a really simple example, energy. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the great energy, couldn't be better. 1 being, it's horrible. I don't like this. I'm always tired and stuff. If maybe I have a client, they rate a 7. So one of the things that I've learned to ask, and this is something that my coach taught me, and it's been a big aha moment. And so this is also something I'm taking into the new year as a new part of what I do, is, so a lot of people would come around and go, well, why is that not a 10? Well, before I get to that, I'm asking this question. And I always laugh because when I ask this question oftentimes, people's brains kind of get broken because people aren't asking this. And so there's like, wait, what? Because nobody does this. So, first question I ask is, okay, why is that not a 0? And I'm finding that it produces, so what it causes them to do. So remember, 0 is horrible, right? Why is it not a 1? That's horrible. But why is it not a 1? Why is it a 7? Why is it not a 1? Now I'm getting my client to repeat all the good stuff that's happened, everything. And then what happens is they are now listening to their own voice saying all this good stuff, and it just reinforces it inside them. Then we get to the, okay, now why is it not a 10? Now that opens up much deeper areas for me to coach them in. And a lot of times when I'm finding they're sharing things that they don't normally share, they're sharing things that they haven't shared with me before. And this is a huge part. So all of this is part of the new that's coming into, that's coming into this new year. So, well, that's pretty much my ending and beginning in a nutshell, if you will.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. It looks like you're doing amazing work there. And I love the passion. Whenever you speak about your program and the work you do, there is so much passion. And Ken can literally talk about this topic for 4 hours straight. Because there is so much passion there. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. And it's something, if you're tuning in right now and you're feeling maybe like there is some transition going on, or maybe you're not quite certain where the future is going to take you, I invite you to look at something called Ikigai. Now, Ikigai is a Japanese concept or a meaning. It's a reason for being and a reason to jump out of bed. And Ikigai looks at 4 things, 4 different areas I invite you to actually journal and brainstorm for yourself. The first thing is what you love. The second thing is look at what the world needs, right? What you love, what the world needs. The third thing, if you're looking at something as a change in profession or a way to monetize what you're doing, what you can be paid for. And number 4 is what you're good at. So we've got what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. And that actually brings together your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. I absolutely love the Ikigai model. If you just look it up, it's spelled Ikigai. And it's a great way to really just get some clarity around your life, because often we're too close to what we do to see the genius of what we do. But a great clue is in what you find joy in. Okay, and this is what Bob Proctor actually talked about a lot as well. Bob Proctor said, well, how do you find your purpose and your mission? Well, you do what you love. Do as much as you can of what you love. Okay, so just notice, what is it that gives you joy? What is it that gives you joy? And so I'd love to go over to Sophie here. And I know one thing that Sophie loves to do is food preparation, and she is awesome. So Sophie, how has this year been for you? Because I know you've been through some massive challenges lately, and you've just made an ending, as in moved from Victoria up to the Gold Coast. So could you share a little bit about your journey there?
Yeah, unfortunately, all my family members have passed away except for my sister, who lives in the US, actually, and in Philadelphia. So I was left with clearing the family home. My brother died 9 months before my mum, so there were 2 funerals thrown in there, and there were moments where I thought, I'm never going to get out of here. And what kept me going, so it was the decluttering of a very big house. My mum, unfortunately, was a hoarder, and was my vision of living on the Gold Coast. And it was something I had wanted for a long time, but unfortunately, because of circumstances, couldn't come. But what kept me going was, I think, having it, like Bob Proctor says, having that vision. And like, there would be mornings I'd wake up and I would just cry and think, I'm never going to get out of here. And then one day I thought, well, if I don't get a vision and, some affirmations and so on, I will never get out of here. So I changed to, I had visions of jet skiing with my cousin on the Gold Coast. That was my favourite thing to do, and that was my number one vision. And I just pictured myself living on the Gold Coast, and as Alwyn knows, I've just bought a home right near her, 6 minutes away, I believe. Yes. And I'm moving in there in a couple of months. So within a month of finally arriving here in Queensland, and I found a home, and I'm moving in soon. So it's not easy when you're finishing something, because there's a whole lot of sadness that goes with that, because the only reason I could move to Queensland was because my mum passed away, because she didn't want to come up here. But on the other hand, I just keep thinking my new beginnings, and she would be so happy that I'm happy. And so you've always, in the ending, you've got to see the future as well, and just see it as a constant circle. And there will be times that it's really hard, and at times there'll be times when you just want to give up. But if you stay with what the new beginning is for you, I believe that will pull you through. And I tell everybody to do this, but, you know, pay not to have commercials on YouTube, and then find all these positive videos and watch them before you go to bed and first thing in the morning. And throughout the day, I would have all these motivational videos as I was decluttering, the last thing I wanted to do. And when you're doing it after 1 year and then the next year, you know, again, you can't just go by one thing. You need a whole lot of you've got to create a plan of what's going to keep you motivated to keep going. And the universe will drop the right people and ideas in front of you, and the right people who, whether they want to buy the house, come and help you move the stuff, buy the stuff, help you take stuff to the op shop. All sorts of things started happening once I started, you know, believing that, okay, I can do this, and just did not let go of my future vision. So I recommend anyone who's stuck in a rut and who feels overwhelmed, just change your concept, change how you think about achieving that goal for a new life, a better life, or whatever it is. And as Aldwin knows, I also, you know, I wrote my book on good quality breathing. That's my Australian version. That's my American version there. But Paul Bragg, this was the book that changed my, you know, one of the reasons I got into good quality breathing, and also at Hippocrates was the reason I got into good quality eating, and so on. So I think just all that combined can change your life and lead you to paths you couldn't have imagined. But so just keep going for those, and keep your vision there. So that's what I would recommend.
Yes,
all that pain of the last few years, when I wake up here and I'm on the Gold Coast, I can't just, everyone who met me for the first few months had to pinch me because it was like a dream come true. So, yeah.
Very blessed on the Gold Coast. And of course, Moana and Denna are also from the Gold Coast. And we are very, very, very blessed here. It's absolutely beautiful. In fact, last week I was down in the Northern Beaches area of Sydney, which is also gorgeous. And I actually grew up in the Northern Beaches area of Sydney. And I was actually kayaking around Narrabeen Lake. There's a beautiful lake there with some little islands. And it was one of the highlights of my year this year has been actually doing that exercise, has been kayaking solo around these little islands and looking at all these ducks, connecting with these ducks and these birds, and it was just so beautiful. You know, it was, and these are the often the best things in life are the simple things in life that are all around us. And I know, Sophie, something you love to do is gardening, and you're doing a great job transforming Hippocrates right now. And Sophie, God bless her, she brought me some aloe vera last week from if anyone's been to Hippocrates, the aloe vera has transformed at Hippocrates. And so there's endings and beginnings, right? You transplanted the aloe vera from Hippocrates, and now it's here in Southport at my place in my garden. And now it's going to grow new life with the aloe vera. And you've planted some new aloe vera over there. So, that's so important for grounding and for energy, as Ken was saying as well, being conscious of your energy. In fact, let us know in the comments right now, where is your energy right now between 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, where 0 is crap, no energy, to 10 is amazing, high energy. And I know we've got one of our most loyal viewers. We've got Corinda with us. Hey, Corinda, good to see you. Corinda runs the Empowerment Extend show. I've been a guest on his show. He's an awesome guy from the UK. And he says he's in Australia right now. Whereabouts in Australia are you, Corinda? Let us know. And he says, first time seeing 6 people on StreamYard. Yes, you can actually have up to 10 guests on StreamYard, including yourself. So it's quite an amazing platform. We love StreamYard. And someone else who uses StreamYard a lot is Chad. And Chad, I'm sure you have some amazing stories about endings and beginnings. So what would you like to share with us today? Oh, I can't hear you. Chad,
There are so many to choose from. Every ending is a beginning, and every beginning is an ending. And we often try and separate them, like, well, this is over, now we start this. It's like they're actually the same point in time. One example for myself recently, just over the last couple of years, is my dad called up and he's like, hey, cancer's a little bit harder. We're looking for some help. So maybe, your mom can have some more dignity versus having to take care of me. So being the son that I am, I heard, come help us. So we hopped in a car, we drove halfway across the US, and we went to Wyoming. We were living in Wisconsin at the time. And Dad's like, wow, actually I meant, could you help us find a home health aide? And I said, well, here we are. So it's myself, my wife, and my 3 kids. And within that next 6 months business was set to the side. Projects were set to the side, goals, outcomes that I decided on, everything was sent to the side as I just focused on helping my dad transition, my mom cope with it, my dad passed, helping my mom deal with that. And all of a sudden, here we are. We just moved away from everything that we have, halfway across the country. We left our church, we left our family, our friends, everything to come over here to be with my mom. And when Dad passed, she goes, Chad, I can't live in this house any longer. I'm going to Arizona.
Wow.
And we're going, wow. So absolutely everything that I built, everything that we built as a family is now gone. It was over. And I'm like, okay. And then I turned around, and luckily I built systems and business strategist. I don't just build something that doesn't run without me. But everything that did require me to be there died, in essence. And I went, okay, so what am I going to do now? I actually have a clean slate. My background businesses are running on automation, but everything that required me to be there, I've been wanting for 2 years to streamline my process and remove me from the business. Because everything that I did, I was doing for my family. But I had been saying, I don't want to do this for my family. I want to do life with my family. And what it took was an end. It took my dad passing to actually slow me down enough to accept the ending of the thing that was holding me back from a new beginning. And so what we did is we moved into that new phase, and I was like, well, what am I going to do? And what does any good person do? We list off the things that we don't want to do, right? I hated reading. I hated writing. So I shut everything down, published 7 new books this year. That's all I did, is I just wrote, and I just poured out everything that was in me. And I was like, okay, if I don't want to have to do this person to person, one-on-one for the rest of my life, I've got to get it out of me so that it can be something evergreen, so people can access 30 plus years of experience without taking me away from my kids. And what it did is it opened up a whole new world. That, like Ken said, he says, I'm not just an author, and I'm not a published author. And there's a difference in us. Other people, they don't even know the difference between an author and a published author. They're like, okay. But to us, we say, you know what? It's now accessible to the world. A part of me is now released into the world. And that's a new beginning. So my biggest thing is I want people to understand, like with every ending, there's an opportunity where you get to start right now and decide, what is that vision for my future? What am I going to do to step into that? Where is my energy level going to be? Because I wake up every morning, I assess, where am I at? I don't ask, why isn't it at a 0, Ken? I say, I'm at a 4. What is going to give me a 4.1? And then I take that action. Okay, what's going to bring me to a 5? And no, it's not a cup of coffee, but I do enjoy it. But it's taking those incremental moments where we think that a new beginning has to be this massive life-changing moment. And everybody, they're afraid to begin. Well, here's a new beginning. Denna, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to use you as an example. Hi, how are you, Denna?
Hi, Chad.
Just that simple, you've started a new beginning. A new relationship blooms, and you can say, will I water this? Will I nourish it? Will I help it to grow? Or will I walk away and just say hi to the next stranger and say, well, I talk to people. I'd rather grow one relationship than try and maintain 50 dying plants. So with a new beginning, be intentional. Know what your vision is. I love how you said that, Sophie. It says, I had to find a greater vision.
Mm.
And what came to mind was find a greater vision to change your view. Because without vision, what we're going to do is go back and look at our past.
Yeah.
Because there's only that's the only thing we have.
Yeah.
So grab hold of that vision. Look to see what it is that you want. Look at what will suit you, what will serve you. And then say, what do I have to do right here, right now, in this moment to move forward? Because I'm not going to stay here. My life is not cyclical. My life is linear. I'm either moving forward or I'm staying where I was. But you don't get to go back and do it again. A new beginning is not a do-over. You can't do it over. It's done. But you can start right here, and you can create the life and the circumstance and the situations that you desire for your future by today's action. And that's the beauty of the ending. And in my opinion, the truth about the ending and the beginning is they're not separate, and you cannot separate them. So take joy in your darkest, saddest moments, because that's what's going to open the door for your greatest joys. And
You know what? I want to add to that, though, Chad. Oh my gosh, it's so good, so good, so good. So, ending and beginnings, that does not mean restarting. One of the recent things that I've been teaching with some of my clients is, okay, so you had a bad week. Well, now it's not about resetting and restarting. It's about continuing.
Yeah.
And I think that's so powerful. It should never be about restarting, because technically there is no restart. You just get to grow from whatever happened. You get to learn. You get to get better. And you get to continue. It's a whole different way of thinking.
Yeah.
So powerful, Chad. Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because in death we think that's an ending, and in one form it is an ending of a physical form, but it transitions or transforms into, I believe, a spiritual form. I mean, we know the minute people die, our bodies become lighter, so we know we have a spirit. We know there's all sorts of stories out there. People have died and come back, and they've seen spirits, and they've seen their life flash before them, and so we know that our spirit goes somewhere. We know something happens, and there's different beliefs around that. Of course, in Christianity, we believe in heaven and hell, etc., and there's other beliefs. Now, it's interesting. We just had the Bondi shootings that happened last week when I was actually in Sydney. I was only half an hour away from where the Bondi shooting was happening in Sydney.
Wow.
And these particular Muslims that were doing these fanatic sort of Muslims, and there are some beautiful Muslims out there. However, in this particular certain very full-on Muslim religions, they believe that if you kill anyone who's not a Muslim or not of that particular type of Muslim that they are, exactly, because we have Sunnis, we have Alawites, there's all sorts of different Muslims out there, or different, it's like we have the Anglicans and the Protestants with Christianity. There's some very fanatic Muslim religions will believe that if you kill anybody who's not of that particular belief, that you will then go to your heaven. So they, specifically this father-son pair that did these shootings and shot 16 people and killed 16 people, injured another 42 or so, last stats I saw. They would have believed in their mind that they were killing others for their own, for the betterment of themselves going to their next beginning. There's sort of like an ending and beginning. And also they were saying something clearly around the Jews and, what's been happening over, in Israel and Palestine and all of that. I always say there's no winners in war except the weapons makers, right? There's no winners in war except the weapons makers. So when we talk about endings and beginnings, I believe there is a flow. It's like the roller coaster ride of life. Like we have the ups and downs. There's a certain flow that happens. So while our body may die when we die, our spirit, I do believe, lives on. And now, Moana, I know that your sister recently passed. I'm very sorry to hear about that. What are your thoughts about this?
I was preparing myself for her to pass. I educated myself so that I was ready. And my thoughts are that I've made it a special time. So I didn't want to think of it as an ending, but I do believe that endings and beginnings kind of overlap, like Chad was kind of saying, and I think you were saying about the flow. But I do think, she sort of, she rallied. I went over quite a few times. One time went to visit her where she lives, to spend some time with her. And then when she was in the hospice, and then she rallied again, and I had to come back here. And then finally, when I went over when she passed away. But when she was in the hospice, I educated myself on what to expect when sitting with someone who's dying. And that kind of took the fear away. And it just sort of made me be there for her, and sort of to make it so that it was a transition. Like you talk about a transition over into whatever happens after a person dies. So I really do think it's kind of an overlap, the endings and the beginnings, and it's all part of life. Yeah. So
yeah, I feel sometimes, like Groundhog Day. Anyone seen the movie Groundhog Day? You feel sometimes, like I feel sometimes I wake up and next thing I know it's time to go to bed again. And then I wake up and it's time, it kind of feels like, and I get a lot done in my day, and I have amazing days, right? I make the most of every moment, whether I'm meditating, doing beach walks, talking with a client, whatever it is. I love my life, right? I'm absolutely in flow, despite all of the twists and turns and unexpected things that happen in life. And as Chad said, notice these dark moments you have, notice the breakdowns, because at the end of every breakdown, there's a breakthrough. I truly believe that. End of every breakdown, there's a breakthrough. It's just a matter of our perspective on what happens. And what if everything in life happened for you, not to you? What if you were not the victim of anything in your life? What if you attracted every single thing in your life, every single person, every single experience, you consciously or subconsciously attracted that into your life so that you could learn and grow and become the evolved version of yourself that you are here on the planet? What if that was the case? Now, I know, Denna, you've been through a lot of challenges in your life, and you've released this beautiful gratitude codes. And I know you're going through transition here as well at the moment. So what would you like to share with us today?
Yeah, thank you, Audwin. Yeah, really grateful. That's how I'm doing life at the moment. I have wanted to raise my vibration and raise my energy. That was brought up earlier. But Chad also brought up a word that triggered something in me, and I mean that in a good way. He said there's no do-overs. I actually have used those words and said, this is my do-over. Okay? Why can't we have a second chance? Why can't we approach something differently? Why can't we be responsible for the change? So that's my viewpoint on the do-over word. And I actually did say that was how I voiced like number 3, my number 3rd child was like my do-over baby, because for me, number 3 came about, was obviously for me a miracle. I was challenged by it, but she wasn't a mistake. She wasn't, it just, someone else the universe had a plan, but with number 2, I had difficulties. I had disconnection. I had postpartum depression. So number 3 intentionally became a do-over baby for me. And because of the emotions that I felt, I realized in reflection, oh, yes, I was not, the mother that perhaps I wanted to be, or there were reasons behind it. I always blaming myself. For as women and mums do, the guilt factor and all that. And it's probably important to mention here that someone told me this years ago, and I really, really appreciate it now. I didn't understand it at the time. Someone did a formulation for me. They gave me a scenic scent, okay, later here in Brisbane. But it said on the bottle, happiness is my birthright. And I'm an adoptee. And are you an adoptee too, Chad? Wow. Okay, well then let's talk about this, because the holiday season can be complex time for adoptees, as you know. And an adoptee essentially like starts life before you're adopted. I don't know where to go on this without getting a little bit emotional, because I've had a good adoption. I want to say I'm not here just to spruik adoption trauma, but I didn't even realize where I was in that space, because I was blessed with a beautiful adoption with great adoptive parents, but I know that's not always the case. So something that I'm evolving into, something that I'm stepping up and being more of an advocate for now is just wanting to help adoptees heal, because I know the processes and things that I've been doing to heal myself. And the first time I should say, I was, I'm not going to say forced, but encouraged by Audrey to be on the Total Truth Show, was a topic about self-discovery. And that's been my journey. And where I'm at the moment, I'm grateful for the work and that I'm doing I've got this thing called the Pillar Code at Play that is really helping me talk about things that have been revealed in my life, things that I'm healing in my life, things that I'm sealing in my life. And I've had to slow down because I perhaps was always not living in the present, always thinking about the future, probably grew up a lot faster. That for whatever reason, I was a people pleaser in that sense. And now I look at my life and I'm slowing down. I'm doing things differently. And another example of that is being in the travel industry, or have been in the travel industry, always promoting and having these ideas and being creative and wanting to have a marketing platform and create retreats and market retreats of others. I'm promoting and I'm spruiking and I'm saying things like, retreat, I could do these retreats, let's do a retreat. And then it hit me, wordplay, no, Denna, the message is for yourself, you have to retreat. And I went within. And I'm all about transformational travel. And I have a platform that that's what I'm saying. I've discovered that I have to, in wordplay for me, I mean, someone said something, and I was like, oh, I flipped that. I flipped the concept of that. I reframed it for me, and I see that word differently now. So a word that may have triggered me or felt very, hurtful, or, I mean, let's just use the word abandonment, for example. It's a part of an adoptee issue, and I think, Chad, we're going to become new friends because we got that in common. And it's really quite funny that you said, Denna, let me use you as an example, and you reached out to me. I just seem to have this ability to now, because I'm open to talking about adoption and I want to talk about an adoption, I seem to attract adoptees, birth mothers, all things, okay? And, I find I may never meet my birth mother, but I feel like there's more hope there than people that are directly in my family. I feel like there's more hope in potentially meeting my birth mother than, let's say, ever getting an apology from other people that in my life now. And we talk about endings and beginnings. People, Oprah just said it recently. There's this whole thing about how she's encouraging conversations around people that have, let people go, or they're not, they're you know what I'm trying to say. Oprah was just talking about the conversation around, putting boundaries up and not pursuing those relationships and all that. And then before Audrey, when you mentioned the Islamic side of the Bondi conversations, I found out through my process of self-discovery that I'm an adoptee from Indonesia. My birth mother was Islamic. So,
wow.
So I was brought up with Christian values, but not hardcore, Catholicism. Though I married a Polish American, and then here I am now learning that my beautiful children are dual citizens. They're American and Australian. Okay, but I've brought this Asian side into their DNA. It's probably an Asian side that I probably didn't even truly embrace when I was younger. I'm just Australian. And I've certainly developed or experienced more racism since having children. In fact, I would say maybe I was protected in some form, because I've seen my children deal with more racism than I actually have. But I can also see that growing up, I decided to control the narrative. I wouldn't let people talk to me. I had a happy upbringing, but there was obviously deep adoptee issues that I didn't want to deal with, or didn't want, I wanted to control the conversation. That much I do know. Because I would say, hi, I'm Denna. I'm an adoptee. No, I don't want to meet my birth mother. My life is fine. And as soon as you say that, or if I'm meeting strangers that aren't adopted, if I said, oh, I'm an adopted, what do you think the first question is always going to be? So that's kind of the place that, where I've coming from. And it was having kids. It was having kids and getting married that I started to, which is very common for adopted people, is to question and wonder about things about their life. I have no record of my genetic background. So it's when anything health related happens, and things in health related has been happening for me. I've got I'm the one that's starting the bench. I'm the one that's starting the history. I'm the one that's going through every test, stress and whatever to work out what to make my kids or their future generations easier. So that's where I play in this whole, at the moment, endings and beginnings. What am I completing? How do I want to go forward next year? And I think, I'm guessing, Sophie's a little bit more, and from what she said, and I do know your one too, I'm kind of, I dabble with a bit of the woo at the moment. I've come from a particular way of, but yeah, my gratitude codes with my co-creator, they essentially, for me, act as positive affirmation cards, but they also, attract those that are spiritual. So I'm on a spiritual journey just to understand, where it is that, so that's where I play.
And here they are. This is what the gratitude codes look like. Very cool little deck. I've got them right next to me. Yes, thank you, Denna. I love what you shared there about going inward. There's a great saying that says, slow down to speed up. Slow down to speed up. And, it's interesting. Last night I saw the movie Nuremberg with Russell Crowe. It's fascinating. It's got Rami Malek, who was the guy that was in the Queen movie, and Russell Crowe and Michael Shannon in it. And it's all about a World War II psychiatrist evaluating Nazi leaders before the Nuremberg trials and becoming obsessed with understanding evil as he formed a bond with Hermann Goring, who was second in command after Hitler. And fascinating movie, because what was happening in the movie is there, it was looking at, well, we're all human beings on the planet. And yet some people become so indoctrinated in certain beliefs that they believe it's actually good to do harm on others, right? At endings and beginnings, life, death, who are we to take the life of another person? Who are we? And of course, what happened in this is that back in the day, there used to be, people would get killed if they did wrong. Nowadays, it's like people are running amok and there's no consequences for anything, and people are getting, literally getting away with murder is what's happening currently. And at the same time, who are we to take another person's life, or even another being's life, right? Who are we to say who should live and who shouldn't live? And, it's a very interesting thing. And this slow down to speed up, I believe, is so, so important. And as we come to the end of this year, something that I love to do, and it's something that I've been doing in the Business Blueprint Masters Retreats, which is what I was at last week in Sydney, is what we always do is we look at what are 10 achievements that we're proud of from this year. What are 10 achievements that we're proud of, and what are 10 goals for the year ahead that we want to achieve. And this is great to actually just take stock and just write down what are 10 things you're proud of from this year. And they don't have to be huge achievements, just 10 things that you've done that you're proud of this year, and 10 things you're committing to for the year ahead. So I'd love to open up here, if we just break that down to say, what are the top 3 things that you're really happy that happened this year? 3, and also for those joining us, and thank you so much. We've got Nick here on Facebook. He says a 9 out of 10. Nice one. I like that energy, Nick. Very good. He says brilliant there. Nick, now how do we say that surname? Is it now? Chad is your friend, isn't he? There, I can see. How do you say that surname? Oh, you're muted there.
He may not like me afterwards if I do.
Oh, okay. Giustiosio or something. It sounds
We'll just call
Italian.
him Brother Nick.
Nick, we'll just go with Nick. Thank you, Nick. He says, brilliant. Chaz says, glad to see you here, brother. And Nick says, thank you. This is blowing my mind. I'm just feeling so much hope by listening to this. Oh, that's lovely, Nick.
Good.
Thank you so much.
That's really
Thank
great.
you so much for enjoying it. And for others joining us live or on the replay, where's your energy at out of 10? What was that, Denna?
I was going to tell Chad the reason why I go by Denna the Connector, name given to me by Audra and Alderney, is because my surname is a little bit on the difficult side for some people. It's Szwajkowski, and it's the SZ. It's Polish American, and yes, so I can appreciate too that. But you know, obviously the right people, those that show up in my life, those that care enough about me, those will attempt to say it, and some people will impress me. They give it a go, or they relate it to something. They go, "Oh, I like the crystal. Oh, I like the character from Monsters Inc." So again, wordplay, association helps people, I think, in life. And I know that, well, in particular, my guides speak to me in music. So I always find I'm really noticing the signs. That's what's really helped me, I guess, in my darkest days. And another reason why I connect well with Audrey is like her reason for doing the Global Good News Challenge, and because of how she felt about her friends that are dying in suicide. Well, in the adoptee space, there is the rates for suicide for adoptees is huge, and just being now in the adoptees, there's so many different facets of it too. But I'm in the inter-country adoptee space, and so I have sort of found a new community within that space, a very well-established community that's been going for years, but I've only recently come across it in the past 3 years. And I mean, I just think about things that would have happened, things I could have maybe prevented if I had more awareness of some of this stuff earlier on in my life. But clearly,
Denna, can I ask if you've always known, like, what age you were when you found out?
I just always knew I was adopted. It was pretty obvious. My parents were Caucasian, and I'm also pretty unique in the adoptive space. And I say that because I've got an adoptive brother, okay, who came from another country. So we're not blood relatives. So I've always been that big believer of, you know, it's not about blood. It's family is what, you know, the family is who is around you. And in this case, it's not about blood. Though right now, blood is so important. Like having blood tests is really important for me and what the journey that I'm going through. And it is about blood. So this is that's a new, like I said, I have to have my own mind shift to work out, because right now the blood and the history of my genetics is going to help me, you know, in my healing. And, you know, because of the age that I am and sort of exploring this stuff later on in life, realistically, I may not ever be able to find out the questions I would like, but I'd like to think that I've started something, and down the track, if my children needed to know more stuff, that I've done what I can to sort of get them on the right path. But I've also experienced the fact that, you know, because different people in your life can have different opinions, but I've also experienced the fact that I did a DNA test, you know, because I put it out there, because who knows, there's hope there. Maybe I'll one day get a hit, you know, and because you hear all these amazing stories of people that are acting because DNA do exist. I mean, I was watching a video on YouTube the other day, and it's going to sound crazy, but signs like, you know, Sophie and Aldrin, that venue that you were talking about where you garden, Sophie, I was at a venue there, a friend doing a sound healing, and on the time that I happened to be there, I also got to listen to someone who was just amazing talking about ancient Egypt, okay? And being a travel agent who's been to Egypt, and I've got, you know, quite a bit of knowledge on Egypt, she blew me away, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to Egypt again. And again, I'm seeing this as a sign, because Egypt keeps coming up in signs about Egypt and things that I'm
interesting doing. You say that, because my mother was born and raised in Egypt.
Oh, really? Well, Egypt just keeps coming up for me as a sign, as a message, and I keep saying this as a message. And we were talking about quotes before, and one of my quotes is, "I trust in a world that we cross paths with those we are meant to meet. I see this as a sign I'm open to exploring possibilities that lay in front of us. How we are meant to intertwine will be revealed in time. And yeah, that's it. But I do like the fact is that, yeah, let's see what the universe says, but I am choosing to be more intentional, and I'm noticing the signs. And yeah, I control, I can control what I can control, and I am acting differently about the things that I can't control. So that's my journey anyway. In that,
love
yeah,
it, Denna.
it keeps coming.
Huge congratulations to you and Moana, we officially call Mo, who also started Tuesdays on Target, amazing group here on the Gold Coast with Karen Clark. Huge congratulations for completing the December Global Good News Challenge. Yay!
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Mo, and being an added bonus. Like, I was doing it with Karen, and she is my accountability buddy. The next thing I know, we have an accountability team. And that didn't that just change? That just changed the whole energy of the
and something that happened when I went through a few really challenging days, sort of in the middle of that challenge, and it really helped me, because one morning I just thought, how am I ever going to find some gratitude for what's going on and some good news? I just wasn't in the right headspace. But it sort of makes you look for them then and take that step to find something positive, even if it's something small. And it really does help. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had my car stolen during that challenge.
That's right.
And the day that I couldn't attend, who showed up? You, Audrey, Karen, like made me feel a part of something on that day when, so exactly. I think we can do life. I think sometimes, I remember when we got married, to be honest with you. Classic example. You've got family, you want to have a wedding, you want your family there, but not all the family's going to attend. There's always family drama, wedding drama, I should say. But I was really pleasantly surprised with those that did attend that I wasn't expecting, and we had a destination wedding. And I think we had a destination wedding because it was safer for us, like emotionally for me. I'm like, I will have a destination wedding. I mean, travel, so why wouldn't I? You put it out there. You can, with a destination wedding, you can invite everyone and anyone, and it's okay if they don't show up. You don't feel bad. You don't have to. It's not a matter of, okay, I can only invite this amount of people. And I married a Polish American, and Polish Americans in general do weddings differently to the way Australians do weddings. I can say that much. But I think Polish American people do weddings a little bit differently too. Other cultures and stuff as well. And so, I certainly am surprised by who does show up for me, or who has shown up for me. It's been a blessing. That's where I can feel safe. I can feel safe with strangers. But is that because I'm adopted, Chad? This is a whole other discussion. Do I easily feel safe with strangers because I'm adopted and that's the life I was thrusted into?
I think that might be part of it, but I also see is not just that there's a safety with the stranger. It's just that we haven't been born into a small little space. We know that we don't have that isolated cocoon, which a lot of people refer to as a family. Like, if we think we're adopted, then we naturally just understand people that are not our family are just as accessible as our family are. And therefore, they're not a danger. They're not outside of us. They're actually just like our family, not related directly. And so we're more open to having those conversations with them.
Well, where I felt imposter syndrome throughout my life is that I'm Denna the connector, and obviously I've been told and I feel like I'm very good at building relationships. So that's why I like to connect. But where I felt imposter syndrome is because of things that were going on behind the scenes in my actual life. I was very disconnected. The disconnect for me meant, am I doing life true to what my soul wants, and questioning values, or do I do things just because I've been conditioned to do things that way, And that's the whole nurture versus nature debate. But I guess I'm just more open to being vulnerable, and I've realized that in time when I wouldn't be, a lot of guilt and shame around certain things. I'm at a point where stuff has happened to me that I'm like, well, what's got nothing to lose anymore? I might as well just be me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And Denna, and Chad, as you're sharing about adoptees, the movie Lion came to mind, which is a 2016 movie about a 5-year-old Indian boy being adopted by an Australian couple, and then he gets lost hundreds of kilometers from home, and 25 years later he sets out to find his lost family. It's a fantastic movie based on a true story, Lion. So check that one out, Lion from 2016. Very powerful movie. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong, right? And, most people have some version of, I don't belong, I'm not good enough, and I'm not loved, that's running the show in the background, right? So notice it's not what happens in your life, it's what we make it mean. It's what we make it mean, right? A lot of people who are adopted out, some people adopted out to crap families, and some people adopted out to amazing, loving families. And what is the main difference? The main difference is the crap families, most likely in the heritage, there's been some crap going on because hurt people, right? So often in those families, you have people that are abusive and violent, probably because their parents or grandparents were abusive and violent, probably because they got hurt somewhere along the line and they just passed it down the generations. So how good would it be, as you say, Denna, the buck stops here. If we've had generational trauma, now that's going to end from here on. That is ending. And how does that end? It ends with doing work on yourself. I truly believe your self-worth comes from your self-work. People talk about your net worth comes from your network. Well, I say your self-work comes from your self-worth comes from that. And I think it's absolutely crucial moving forward that we look at that for ourselves. Where are you having these limiting beliefs? Where are you getting triggered? I think it's fantastic, Denna, you mentioned, I was triggered by some things you said there. Notice when you get triggered in life, notice what is it that upsets you or angers you, or that you choose to be upset or angered by. Because I always look at that as, okay, that's, if I'm triggered by something, oh, there we go, something to learn there, something to transform. Okay, how interesting, I'm triggered by that. Okay, why is it that I'm triggered by that? I wonder why I'm triggered by that. What's happened in my past that's led me to be triggered by this? And then actually get, hey, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's just what we make it mean. And when you look at the average human being having 60,000 thoughts a day, 98% of the same thoughts we had yesterday, and 80% for most people are negative, right? We have a negativity bias, right? No wonder so many people living in fear, hence the, Fear to Freedom book, right? People transformed fear to freedom. And this is a constant dance in life. It's transforming fear to freedom. So as we move into 2026, what is it that you want to transform? What is it that you want to take next level? And we will be wrapping up the show shortly. And what is it, what are some things you're proud of that you've achieved this year? And what is a few goals moving forward into 2026? I'd love for you to share in the chat, even just one thing you're proud of from 2025 and one goal for 2026. And some people do a bucket list of 100 items. And we've mentioned Egypt here. And one of my goals on my 100 bucket list is to hot air balloon over the pyramids. That's something I want before I die, and at sunrise, of course. They do it at sunrise over there, and probably sunset ones as well. So hot air ballooning over the pyramids, I think, would be absolutely extraordinary. Wow. So what is it that you want to do in your life? What are some bucket list items? Do you want to see the great wonders of the world? Have you seen some? Is there anything, personally, I love travel and adventure like Denna does, and like a lot of you do as well. So I'd love to go around and just have, everyone share, what is, say, up to 3 things that you're proud of that you've achieved from this year, and 3 goals moving into the new year, and also for our viewers as we come to wrap up the show. So Ken.
I was going to say, I'm going to hop right in there. Since I went first last time, might as well keep with the same chain there.
Let's roll with
okay, so top 3 things. Pretty much I've already mentioned these, but here we go. I'm now a published author. I am a speaker, and I have multiple clients. Those are my top 3 things. Now, going into next year, I do have another book I'm working on. It's my deeper dive book. It's basically everything and all the pieces and hold back nothing. Everything I teach, everything I go over, that is my deeper dive book. It will include everything. And so unlike this book that just came out, this is a nutshell. This is a book that leads you into my world. The deeper dive book is where I unleash everything. So I want to get that complete. The other one is I want more opportunities to speak, more places to speak at, and get myself on different stages. So that's the other one. Lastly, the last one is kind of like a happy but sad moment. And so the happy part is I get things so ramped up that I have to go to group coaching. I still do one-on-ones. It's just those are, those are a few elite few. And it's that's going to be an exciting time because it's going to mean that things are really, really, going off, in my business, which is what I want. I want to get that to the next level. I mean, I've got lots of clients coming in, but I'm still not quite at the level of, okay, I need to open up group coaching because I can't handle these, anymore. So the group coaching, and the reason why it's kind of happy and sad is because the sad part is I relish my one-on-ones, but I also need to remember that the one-on-ones are still going to be there. They just may have an upgrade to get there. And I want to get to that point. So there's a person that my coach Francine and I both follow on YouTube, and we've both been a part of his 5-day challenge. His name is Myron Golden. Some of you have heard of him. And unlike Myron Golden, see, he doesn't like one-on-ones. He doesn't like them all. He does way better in group coaching. See, I'm kind of the opposite. I love my one-on-ones. I love spending that unique time with each one of my clients and being able to dive into them and being able to answer every question that they have and be able to help them at that level. And I'm going to lose some of that at the group coaching level. But the good part of it is my business is going to be at a really good level when I get there. So that's kind of like my things. So anyhow.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. Amazing. Sophie, what are 3 things you're happy about, proud of from this year?
Easy. Selling the family home, then selling my house, and then moving to Queensland. So that was, that was a lot in 1 year. Yep. And next year, I want to move into my new place next to you, near you. Hey. I think I'll join you in Egypt, parachuting. I've not heard of that. Yeah. I would love to do that. I want to go to Greece again next year, visit family over there. But whilst I'm over there, I think I'll join you on that. And thirdly, just help build Hippocrates up to be the amazing place. It's an amazing place now, but I want to run 1-day and 2-day retreats and workshops just to help people just have a basic healthier life, breathe better, and learn how to eat natural food, breathe fresh air, drink natural, like juices, fruit juices, vegetable juices, wheatgrass juice, whatever, just to build people's health back up, because I really think that people have lost their way when it comes to health, and a lot of people don't realize that from health you can then open up the doors to everything spiritual, emotional, and so on as well. Just become generally overall mentally, physically, and spiritually healthier and better. So that would be my dream for next year, my goals.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you, Sophie. Chad, what about you?
I think for this year, I think one of the things that I was proudest of was actually letting go of the previous few years. That's really hard for me because I'm like a dog with a bone. You give me a goal, I'm halfway there. It's like I didn't start, I'm on my way. So I think that's one of the things I'm really proud of. Secondly was finding ways to be more present with my children. That's a huge win for me. My parents were never present with us. They were with us, but not present. They were present with everybody else's kids, with the church, with everything else, but we were always last. So for me, that was a really big win. And of course, putting out 7 books this year, major win for me because I hate writing. So that was pretty huge. This next coming year, I think the first and most prioritized goal is to love my wife fully to make sure that my business takes back seat to my family. Secondly, I definitely want to finish up a book I've been working on for about 12 years in my mind, but I never put it down to paper. And finally, I think it would be to completely abolish my business's need for me to be present. Because I'm in the process of switching it over to a legacy model so that when I'm gone, my kids can continue on with the business without my presence being there.
Amazing. Wow, love that. Thank you so much. And Mo, what about you, beautiful Moana?
Oh, this year has been, it's been a year of kind of taking care of people, family mainly. And next year I really want to take more care of myself, get myself really healthy. We're moving into a new apartment, which is right on the beach. So I'll be able to be no excuse not to go for a swim in the ocean every morning. And the other day I went for a swim in the ocean and then went in the sauna there and the warm spa and then the cold plunge pool. So I tried everything. We haven't actually moved in yet, but we will be next year. So I'm excited about that. And it's going to be a year of prioritizing my health. And I'll still have my clients, got some clients booked in, but also my word for next year is peace. Peace. We did talk about the word of the year at our Tuesdays on Target Christmas lunch, and my word for this year is peace. Peace in myself, peace for my family, and I'd really love for there to be world peace as well.
I'm with you there 100%. Beautiful, Moana. Thank you so much. And Denna, what are 3 things that you are proud of this year and 3 goals?
What am I proud of? Well, I have 3 pumpkins. Can I say that I'm proud of? No, there's more than just that, but I'm proud of my 3 pumpkins because they've all had their own challenges this year in different ways, and they've all overcome them. And I like to believe that I am there to help them overcome them, even if they may not always feel so. I feel that I take pride in being there for them, where I'm capacity. I am proud of obviously releasing the gratitude codes. Absolutely proud of that. I am proud of just the inner work that I've been doing. You talked about whatever you said. I think of it like a slingshot. I think of pulling myself back to release myself further at mammoth speed. Where I'm going to hit, wait and see. But I have been focusing on there's a need to focus on my health, okay? And as they say, health is your wealth, Yes. And then I'll be in a situation where I can focus on my wanderlust and my wealth, okay? Back to that wanderlust, because my 2 mantras are make a difference, collaborate and grow, and travel, inspire, grow. And the communities that I'm involved in, I'm going to be taking a more active role in the adoptee space because I have a passion project called My Adoptive Heart, but I see how it's evolving, and I will be sharing my adoptive heart, will be sharing other people's adoptive hearts, okay? And I kind of feel that everything that I have been working on for years, the signs are there again. You say a dog with a bone, Chad. I'm stubborn too, but it's not that I don't use the word letting go because it makes me think of the Frozen song. I do release. My word this year was release. The year before that it was trust. Moving forward, I have decided, Moana, it's always Tots that helps me formulate my time with Tots. Seems to be the way I formulate my word for the next year. Is ascension. I feel like I'm gonna be ascending, in a whole lot of ways, and that's why that's going to be my word. So moving from trust to release to ascension.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you so much. And we've got Nick here on Facebook. He says he just had to pop out before, but he said here, the environment, combining that with the one thing I'm proud of this year is that I was off last Saturday, was able to perform a song for God at my church and glorify his name, which would have not been possible had I been working Saturdays. And going back to Denna, slowing down to catch up and doing greater things. Beautiful. Thank you, Nick, for sharing that. And Chad has responded, you did an amazing job Saturday, Nick. Sometimes we need to shut one area down in life to open new opportunities.
Wow.
Thank you.
This conversation has piqued my interest in Chad too, to be honest with you. I know Moana, and I always can learn more about her because she seems, you said a gardener, and I've always claimed that I'm not a good gardener, and my mother is, but at the same time, the space that I'm moving in seems to be all about flowers and my secret garden and finding my way of blooming, and just like the signs around that and different flowers. There's a whole thing going on, Sophie, that the words that you've said has created, we talked about triggers before, but there's other words when people say things, it just creates a whole level of creativity for me, in my head. Mm-hmm. So Chad and Sophie, I'm really curious about two of you, learning more about what you do. Yeah.
What do they call that? Call it a glimmer instead of a trigger.
I know that. I did ask someone the other day, there's got to be a better word for the word.
Yeah, glimmer.
I like that.
Well,
thank you. Glimmer.
This is why we call Denna the connector, because anytime she sees interesting people, she's like, I want to connect with you, right? And then, of course, she immediately...
And Chad's my guest, so Denna, I can definitely speak for him. He is one phenomenal person to connect with. I've done an interview with him on my expert interviews series and everything else, and he is absolutely phenomenal. You need to connect with him and get into his world. You guys will have a phenomenal conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
And on that note, I'm Ken's guest, so it's his fault.
And we love the accents on this show. We just love it. It's such a beautiful love affair between the Aussies and the Americans, as far as because we just fall in love with each other just by talking. You don't even have to do anything. You just go to America, just speak Aussie. You speak Aussie in America. Oh my God!
Well, I had an American move here to Australia, and I fell in love with him here.
Yeah, anyway, I digress slightly, but now my three things that I'm very grateful about this year. This is my 30th book project. I'm in 29 other compilation books in different ways, and this is the 30th, Fear to Freedom. We have 14 co-authors from around Australia who are in this book, and we launched this book in Sydney this year, and also 2 launches on the Gold Coast, which some of you came along to. Thank you so much. And what an inspiring project. It's like my baby. I've never married or had children like Ken. This is probably why we get along so well. No. I mean, it's great. If you've married, had children, fantastic. Well done. My parents have been married 55 years and they're going strong. So each to their own on that one. But this is like my baby, right? I have my 6 chickens and I have 2 cats, and we have a rescue dog here as well at the house. And so we have our animals and we have this. So very proud of Fear to Freedom. And that's one thing I'm really proud of. The other thing I'm really proud of is we had our 19th annual animal action event. So for those who know me, I'm a massive animal lover, and I get very, very upset when I see any animal cruelty. And so as part of that, we launched the world's first Animal Action Day back in 2007, all around awareness, appreciation, and respect for animals. And Mo, I think you were at one of those very first ones.
I was just thinking that year, that would have been the year that I was at. Yeah.
And we both had brown hair back then. We were saying the other day. Now we've got a bit of hides the grey.
And where are we going next year, Aldwin? Where are we going next year for Animal Action?
The 20th Animal Action event is going to be a retreat to Thailand, and we're looking to support the elephants and orangutans next year. So very, very excited about that. So we'll be launching that coming up in the 20th year for 2026. And the other thing I'm really proud of from this year is we've just done 5.5 years of the Global Good News Challenge. And I'm proud of myself because I have done every single month's challenge since the very beginning, since June.
Wow.
In June 2020, we're doing the Global News Challenge. The whole idea is to help lift the energy on the planet and help to decrease depression and suicide rates. And I'm so proud of everyone who has done the Global Good News Challenge over the whole time. And the format is very, very simple for anyone who wants to do it. Just check out the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page, which I popped up on the screen earlier. And at the top, there's a link there. It says how to participate in the Global Good News Challenge. And very, very simple. December, you can start your 12-day challenge for December for the 12th month, 12-day challenge. You can start anytime within December, and it's just a very simple live video challenge. Share your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and 1 piece of good news. That's it. It'll take you between 1 and 3 minutes for most people. For those of us who like to ramble on a bit, it might take 10 minutes, or some of us have gone up to 30 minutes on our Global Good News Challenge. But whatever it is, it's a great way to practice gratitude. And when you practice gratitude, you will feel amazing. The people who see your videos feel amazing, and you're lifting the energy on a greater scale. So very proud of 5.5 years of the Global Good News Challenge, and Denna and Mo and many others have done the December one already. Karen Clark, we've had, so many. Have a look. Felisa Moffat's been doing every month this year. Yeah. There's so many people have been doing it, and I want to congratulate all of you, our Good News Crusaders around the world who've been doing this. And it's free marketing for you, because I share your videos to thousands of people. So you're also tapping our network with promo for yourself as well. So it is a very, very powerful thing to do. And next year, moving forward, of course, we've got the 20th Animal Action Retreat we're going to be doing in Thailand. The Fear to Freedom Book 2. We're doing Series 2. I'm teaming up with Dame Rita Rose from Sydney for Series 2. This one I did with Leanne Clune, beautiful Leanne. She's now got a full-on contract job. She's had all sorts of personal stuff go on. So she's stepping down for Book 2. However, I am teaming up with Dame Rita Rose, who's an absolute powerhouse out of Sydney, a lady who has raised $30 million for different charities. She's very humble. She has Red Peacock vegan makeup range. In fact, she has like 1,000 products in her range. She's a crystal healer. She's a speaker, an author. She's an extraordinary lady. Extraordinary.
I am wearing my red lipstick, Audwin.
Yes. Red Peacock lipstick. So shout out to Dame Rita Rose for that. So Book 2, we've got authors coming. In fact, Karen Clark has already come into Book 2. So we're looking for 10 more authors. We have got conversations going on. We've had a whole lot of people say, yes, we want to be in it, but we haven't finalized those conversations yet. So I think this year we're actually going to be filling Book 2 and Book 3. So we're looking to do 12 in the series, 12 Fear to Freedom books. So very excited about that moving forward. And of course, you also got the retreat to Thailand, the Fear to Freedom book. And also another thing I'm going to be looking to do is to build funnels around my Mass Media Mastery program, which Denna and Mo are both in my Mass Media, and Ken, all in my Mass Media Mastery program, which I've had for 11 years, and I haven't automated the whole system around it. So, Chad, I think I'll chat with you about that. I've got Go High Level there. It's just a matter of just setting it all up. To get all that automated. We have some extraordinary people in our Mass Media Mastery program. So I'm going to be going out with a new webinar in the next month. You'll be seeing a free webinar I'll be doing online. And I'm going to be doing hopefully a weekend retreat at Hippocrates coming up around marketing and media. So looking to do by the end of March. So you'll see something around that coming up as well. So it's just some of the things I'm so excited. It's going to be an awesome year ahead. And now as we wrap up, I'd love to just go around and have everyone share a little bit about how we can connect with you. And we always ask people on this show, what is a favorite quote or motto that you'd like to share? So let's work around the room here. And let's go to Ken.
You'll have to excuse me. I got something that just like a piece of dust got caught in my throat. Crazy. Okay, so how you can connect with me. So first of all, right now I'm literally giving away my 3 secrets to help you feel energized, lose weight, and get healthy without starving or dieting. In my mini educational bootcamp series, there's 3 sessions, excuse me, 3 sessions, one-on-one with me, where I expose the 3 biggest lies that's keeping you sick, stuck, and overweight, because that's how that industry makes money. And I'm showing you how you can feel your body God's way, so you can finally lose the weight and keep it off sustainably for life, like I've been able to for 7+ years now. I've lost 62.5 pounds, and I've kept it off easily, sustainably for 7+ years now. So if you're wondering how I did it, how I became the 5% of people that have been able to keep their weight off, well, I'm going to tell you, it's not a diet. It's not a list. It's not a shot. It's definitely not a pill. It's none of those things. It's not $1,000 worth of supplements. It's not shakes. It's none of that. So if you want to find out the answer to that, then join my mini educational boot camp. You've got nothing to lose but those extra pounds, and you've got everything to gain in the right and freeing way. If you finally want to be set free and have it be sustainable and all the things, then that's where you get to start. So how you can get into my boot camp as well as connect with me is through my connection page, which is www.masteryweightloss.com/connect. It is a custom page that I made just for simple connecting. It's very simple. So you'll see a button at the top there. Very first button will be to join my boot camp. There is, oh my goodness. There's stuff popping up on my computer right now. Anyhow, and then there's 3 other buttons you can click on. One is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. The other one is to connect with me on Facebook. And the third one is to book a free strategy call with me. Hey, there you go. If you're not quite ready for my boot camp, book that strategy call. It's free. And I'd love the opportunity to get on a Zoom call with you, get to know you, and unpack what your next steps are. So there's that. The other thing is you can connect with me by finding my book on Amazon. This is on Amazon. It is live. The second version, updated version, is up. Has way less errors than the first version. And so go grab my book. There are also many ways that you can connect with me in my world through this book as well. And so, quote, I'm going to beat you to it, Aldwin.
Well done, Kim.
So, in light of something Chad shared earlier, I thought this quote was perfect. And it's by some person by the name of Sinisa. I cannot pronounce that name. So let's just say it's by someone. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.
I love that. Thank you so much. Amazing, amazing. Now, Sophie, how can people connect with you?
Well, you can either, my website, breatheforlife.com, you can email me through that. There's also the Hippocrates Center. You can go to the website and then join up, and you can get the free newsletters. And that will give you all the information. If you like, with all the workshops and the retreats and things like that. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And, do you have a quote or motto you'd like to share with us today?
Well, health for life is my thing. If you're healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, then that is life, health for life in every way. Yep.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you so much. And Sophie, literally, we spoke about an hour before the show. And I said,
literally,
do you want to come on the show? And she said, yeah. And same with Mo, right? Because we had the other people lined up, and they all pulled out last minute. And it was like, okay, we've got some spots. Do you want to come on? And so shout out.
I said yes, unless there's a technical difficulty that happens that I can't think. So, I'm glad that we talked through those.
Yes,
working it out later on.
Yeah, Moana actually said no first, and then she said yes. So well done. Well done.
It's a woman's prerogative to change your mind.
And my word for this year is flow, right? And that's exactly what's happened here. Is there's been flow, and when there's lots of synchronicities that happen on your path, you're on the right path. So just notice the synchronicity. Right. As we go into the year ahead, notice the synchronicities. Now, true story, last night, I was driving home late last night after watching Nuremberg, feeling a bit intense, right, because it's an intense movie. And I thought to myself, I was coming down this back street in Southport, driving around, it was around 11:30 at night. And I thought to myself, now drive slowly, Aldwin, because there could be cats. Now, I've driven down this street, I don't know, a million times, and I've never seen cats down the street. And it just so happened, as I said, there could be cats. 2 cats went running across in front of me, like literally within seconds of me saying there could be cats. These 2, if I was going faster, I would have hit them, right? But I said to myself, slow down, there could be cats. I don't know where it's like divine intervention. And these 2 cats bolted across in front of me. They looked like they were chasing each other. And there you go, synchronicities, right? It's like, oh my gosh. you know you're on the right path. So listen to those little voices, which Oprah talks about as well. Now, you may think Oprah's on the light or the dark side. I will leave, do your own research on that one. I did see her in Brisbane recently, and I thought she was amazing. And she did say, be very careful of who you have in your environment. Now, it's interesting that she's got photos with Puff Diddy and some very questionable characters. Harry Weinstein and all those kind of people are very questionable characters. And it kind of makes me question maybe she's done some dodgy things in her time. However, in saying that,
You have no idea.
A very inspiring speaker. But anyway, that could be a whole other topic. Maybe we'll do the truth about Oprah for one of our future episodes. But in the meantime, let's go over to beautiful Moana. Now, how can people connect with you, Moana?
I've got a link tree, so it's Linktree. That I think it's up there somewhere, maybe. Oh, yeah.
I'll bring it up here. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. And my website is just bestylelife.com.au. And my favourite quote has always been, today is the first day of the rest of your life. And then I add to it, make it the best of your life. And then I was brainstorming about endings and beginnings. And endings create space, beginnings require courage. Endings aren't failures, they're information. Beginnings aren't instant, they're practice.
Can I get a pin drop? Or actually, no, that's not a pin drop. Can I get a mic drop there, please?
There we go. There we go. Actually, I dropped
there
something.
You go.
Not quite a mic. Could be a mic. Use your imagination. Yes. Beautiful.
Powerful. Very powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Moana Robinson. And check out Tuesdays on Target if you're female on the Gold Coast. Yes, it's for females only. Although we love the men in our lives with this group. Very grateful for Tuesdays on Target and Moana and Karen. Amazing. Love your work. And Denna the Connector. How can people connect with you?
Denna the Connector. Denna Connects. My link tree is basically Denna Connects. Link tree link tree connects. That's Denna Connects. And I shared my quote before, so I'm going to share this quote that I keep with me. It's the one I received in the cookie jar, Moana, at the event. Yeah. So and it spoke to me. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you think, and loved more than you'll ever know. From Winnie the Pooh. But it is very appropriate for me. Winnie the Pooh, again, there's a sign in that for me. I won't expand right now, but I just find the synchronicities, things that keep showing up. I'm looking forward to next year. I will be becoming a Pillar Code practitioner. I'm going through the Pillar Code right now. I am practicing gratitude in life and business. I want to connect with those that resonate with my two mantras: make a difference, collaborate, and grow, and travel, inspire, grow. Like Audwin, funnily enough, you'll be seeing me in the Global Good News Challenge next year. That's my commitment to 2026. And Gratitude Codes is actually technically a visibility project. It's a version of a book project, but you don't have to write a chapter. You just have to be comfortable on camera and share gratitude. So, I'm looking for the right people to be the guides in Deck 2 and Deck 3. And I have a special My Adoptive Heart project around a deck concept where I'm connecting practitioners, adoptee-led practitioners with the adoptees, because I believe this space it can help them grow as well, heal. Yeah. So that's me. My link to Denna Connect. And then if you wanted to be really precise, there's another one, My Adoptive Heart.
Yay. Thank you so much, Denna. Amazing. And Chad, where can people connect with you?
You're muted.
Unmute. So.
I've lost my voice. Anybody can get that was my blessing to you. Anybody can get hold of me. They can go over to chadnedland.com. One of my favorite quotes actually is something I came up with back when my sophomore year of high school, and I was in psychology class, and I was like, the key to complexity is just simplicity. It just clicked one day. It was like, every complex problem is simple if you break it down to the simplest thing. But as I grew, I also understood that the key to simplicity is the ability to see the whole. Because if you don't know what the whole picture looks like, it makes a puzzle really hard to put together. So we break it down to the small pieces. And that being said, I like to keep it simple. If you want to get hold of me, go to chadnedland.com. If you want to talk to me, book a call. I firmly believe that everybody in the world is worth 1 hour of my time. Just to get to know you, to see how I can help you, to look at the other side of the coin that you might call your business. Because oftentimes, the very thing that's holding us back is just sitting in a place we haven't looked. And that's one of my skills. But speaking of which, Denna, named in the dark.
Yes, my friend.
Named in the dark, an invitation to eternal belonging. That's for you, hon.
Let's chat, because we talked about two selves. There's the shadow self of you. There's two Dennas, in fact. Two Dennas. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much,
that.
Chad. Love it, love it, love it. Oh my gosh, it's been such a good show. And for those who want to connect with me, you can go to linktree/Aldwyn. That's linktr.ee/Aldwyn, spelled ALDWYN. In there, you will see some free resources on my website there. I've got my media website. If you want to be seen, heard, and known, if you want to get some clarity around your message, if you're ready to scale and have bigger impact in the year ahead, then reach out. We have an amazing mass media mastery program, which is lifetime access. We do monthly Zoom calls, have a private Facebook group. You get all sorts of media, speaking opportunities, all sorts of really cool stuff in there. So reach out if you're ready for that. The Mass Media Mastery Program, and also the Global Good News Challenge link you will find in there as well. So if you want to do the free Global Good News Challenge, we have a one-day challenge for January coming up, although I would encourage you to do the 12 days now, because this is the longest challenge we have for the year for the month. February we'll have a 2-day challenge, and so on and so forth. So yes, I challenge you, my friends, those tuning right now, I challenge you to do the Global Good News Challenge moving forward. All the details are there. You'll see everything. And of course, I started this because I've had depression myself. I've had 4 friends take their own lives by the age of 45. And I saw so much fear and anxiety around the start of COVID. I thought we've got to ramp up this good news thing. You know, like they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And a lot of people, unfortunately, are falling for all the bad news, like I did for many years. I watched a lot of negative news growing up, and I ended up depressed. And no wonder we have such high suicide rates, because, you know, whatever you focus on will grow. Whatever you focus on will grow. If you focus on all the negative stuff in your life, you're going to get more negative stuff. You focus on the good stuff, you're going to get more good stuff. And sometimes we need to look at the negative stuff so that we can have insights into how to move forward to turn it into a positive. But I do believe, like the yin yang of life, all negatives can be turned into positives, and all positives can be turned into negatives if you choose to go that way too. Although I would recommend go the other way, because it's a much better experience of life when you are in love, peace, joy, gratitude, enlightenment, faith. And faith is another big word for me moving forward too. Chad says, control the inputs and you control your trajectory. Yes. Ooh. Love that. That is an awesome quote. And my quote I want to share about endings and beginnings. Well, actually, I've got 2 here. The first one is from Tom Stoppard, and every exit is an entry somewhere else. Every exit is an entry somewhere else. And what goes in out, right? What goes in, as in with our food, right? Anyway, that's another story. Now, Dave Weinbaum, I love this one as well. The secret to a rich life is to have more beginnings than endings. The secret to a rich life is to have more beginnings than endings. And of course, we want happy endings. We started with happy endings. We're going to finish with a happy ending. Here on Total Truth Show, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with you today. Any final words from any of our guests today? Final words? No?
Chad, I see your comment. That's epic.
In the private
Everyone
chat.
Have a wonderful Christmas.
Chad said, keep it clean, Aldwyn, in the private chat. I missed that memo. Sorry about that. No, no, it's not the end. Gosh, you should see some of our other shows. Anyway, this was clean as far as shows go. Well, definitely happy endings is what we're all after. And be careful who you share your energy with, my friends, because you do take on people's energy if you're going to be getting intimate, right? So just be aware of that. Be aware. You don't want negative people in your life, ideally, and sometimes these people are family members. So you might want to just limit your contact with some of these people and keep the positive, inspiring people in your life because they're worth their weight in gold. So final words from any of our amazing panelists.
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Just like Chad said, have a wonderful New Year. And please, if you're doing any kind of traveling out there, listen, this is a time of year, I swear, I don't know what happens with people's brains, but it goes out the window with their driving, and they need brain surgery. So just be careful.
Yes, totally. And I'm sending lots of love to everyone. And just get, like my girlfriend Tracy Corman says, she runs this company celebrating its 30th year anniversary this year. Congratulations to Tracy. She says, all the love that you have for others is also there for you. Okay, so I'm sending lots of love out to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. For all of our live viewers on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're joining us from, if you're watching the replay, let us know, what did you get out of this show today? Let us know how you went. Oh, and check out events at Hippocrates, by the way, just very quickly. I do have a link here for the Hippocrates events. We've got some really cool stuff coming up. And I'm going to pop the link in so you can check it out here. Ronald, by the way, Ronald Bradley, who runs the Hippocrates Centre, he's 82, about to turn 83. Is that right, Sophie? About to turn 83?
No, he's 83. He's 83.
Oh, he's 83 now.
We've been running the centre for 40 years.
Yeah, amazing. 40 years, and he's extraordinary.
And for those who are interested, there's free space available if you want. So just get in contact if you're interested.
Yes, great.
To run workshops.
Great place for workshops, retreats. And some of the things they've got coming up tomorrow, there's a summer solstice day retreat from 9 till 4 tomorrow, and I'll be going to that tomorrow in Madrabar. So if anyone wants to join us for that, they've got yoga classes, they've got sound healing songs, they've got the amazing Leith James there. Also, Alex Bastian does some great gong healings there. There's healing for healers. There's mysteries of ancient Egypt coming up. January 7th.
That's why she just excited. Talking to her is amazing. Yeah.
The Self-Love Affair Women's Circle with Carol Robinson. There's an overnight sound healing with gongs, 10 gongs, 8 hours deep reset. So much gold. So check out hippocrates.com.au/events. You'll see all the details and you'll absolutely love it. So highly recommend Hippocrates there. So thank you to Ronald as well for your generosity from Hippocrates and for all that you do as well to keep our community healthy moving forward into 2026. Healthy, safe, sending you love. And thank you to our amazing panelists, Sophie, Gabriel, Moana Robinson, Denna the Connector, Chad Nedland, and my amazing co-host, Ken Kleinberg. So fantastic to have you here. And we do have one more Total Truth Show coming up just before the end of the year. So stay tuned for details for that. It's a wrap, and you all get the clap. Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. Share the love. See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
See you later. Bye.